What is going on, everybody? I'm Rob Westerman of GP Daily, and today I'm going to talk to you about yesterday's 25-22 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you guys for all your thoughts and questions. For those who sent them in, I tweeted out yesterday. Give me your thoughts, give me your questions on the game. Obviously, it was pretty crazy, obviously, with the overtime, Crosby, everything going on. So, yeah, I want to hop on, just chat with you about it. Let's get started. We're 4-1. First place in the North. Everything sounds pretty good, obviously, based off those two things. But as we know, and I'm sure all of you guys know, all the issues that's gone down over the last few weeks. Name off some players here that's missed some time. Zadarius, Ellen, MVS, Jair, Josh Myers, Chris Barnes, Kevin King, all have missed or are missing time due to an injury. It's obviously without including D-Bach, who we all know is still recovering from his ACL tear last year. Just kind of tough to see guys go down. Obviously, Kevin King was out with a concussion. He came back and then got hurt again yesterday with the shoulder. His injury history has just been absolutely tough. So, Jake, what's going on, man? Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. With all that said, your Packers are still 4-1, which is remarkable with everything that's happened. Although we're 4-1, we've struggled. And as we saw yesterday, keeping teams out of the end zone. One of the worst in the league when it comes to red zone defense. Once they get inside the 20, it seems like I think every time, I don't know what the streak was, but it's pretty bad as far as every time they get in the red zone, they're scoring. And last year we were super good in the red zone as an offense. This year, I got some notes here. We are 27th in the league with a 55% success rate inside the red zone. So obviously going from last year, being first in the league at 80%, and then this year basically being last place, dang near last place. I think obviously as the NFC Championship game last year didn't go our way, we thought when we got those 3 picks in the second half that we were going to score and having the best goal to goal offense in the league, and I think we came up with 6 points with those 3 turnovers. So. As an offense, we are 27th. I think that you can kind of say the O-line shuffles and everything, maybe that's kind of dictated how long Rodgers has in the pocket, and maybe at the same time how it affects or impacts the run game and kind of how we can just hand it off and punch it in, especially with A.J. Dillon. But with that being said, I think Matt LaFleur can kind of find some creative ways, like he has in the past, to get us in the end zone once we're close. Sophie, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. So, next, Mason Crosby, my guy. Well, I've said many times on the show, on Twitter, he's one of my favorite Packers of all time. But yesterday, and I've also called him the most constant, the most consistent since, over the last decade, really. But obviously yesterday had a rough game. Came through when we needed him. That's nailing the game winner is never easy, clearly, as we saw the other kickers celebrate prematurely, which was just bizarre to me how he missed those kicks too. And I know he's a rookie, but Evan McPherson, I think is what the kicker's name was, something like that. But all that aside, I still have 100% confidence in Mason moving forward. I know Rodgers and Coach said the same. So, Mason, you got this. Yesterday, we'll put it in the past, and if we can go on another streak, like when you had the Lions game, and then we can move forward from that, like we did after the Lions game a couple years back, then I'm all for it. Next up on my notes, I got Devondre Campbell. Obviously, this guy, he's been great. Rodgers said yesterday during his presser that he has no clue. I think what he said was, like, how the hell is this guy even available to be brought into Green Bay in the first place? I think he's 27. He's never been hurt. He gets a ton of tackles. I think what I saw yesterday on Twitter, in the 63 games prior to coming to Green Bay, his play resulted in 3 turnovers, and obviously he has 3 turnovers already generated this year. So, through week 5, he's been stellar, and without him, I don't know if we'd be 4-1. Frankly, he's just been, he's been the absolute definition of the word clutch. Zach Cruz tweeted yesterday he had a pick in the fourth quarter against the Lions, fumble recovery in the fourth quarter against the Niners, fourth down stop against Juju against the Steelers in the fourth, and yesterday, as we all saw, had a pick in overtime, which didn't result in the game winner on that next drive. We drove down a little bit, and then I think we actually lost yardage, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously Crosby missed it on 3rd and 15, which that's a whole other situation with, LaFleur not being aggressive and everything between that. So Chris Barnes has been hurt. He played yesterday, played good, had a sack. But with Devondre Campbell, he's kind of held down that linebacker position. So I'm pumped for him, and I'm glad we got him. So I asked you guys for your thoughts, your questions, and you came through. Did I expect anything less? No. So let's get into them. Eric asks, when will we start involving Amari Rodgers? So this is a question I've seen a few times. I think Cobb has obviously taken over that slot role in the passing game, and he's done great so far when targeted. Cobb, obviously, yesterday with that 3rd down catch that I thought was a first down, but the marker on the TV from Fox was wrong. For sure he got past that, but it was actually the 31. And I think the marker was at the 32. So, and then 2 games ago, as we all know, had, I think 6 catches, 4 were for first downs, and then obviously 2 touchdowns. So when we took Amari in the 3rd round, I was excited because played for Clemson. He goes up against great talent every week, so I knew that the transition, or was hoping that it wouldn't be too wild coming into the NFL. We haven't seen much of him besides on punt return, which frankly hasn't looked the best. But we're 5 games in. If he can kind of find a groove and start producing back there, then yeah, I'll be pumped. But as far as getting into our offense, he hasn't done much. Besides laying some, I'm seeing him out there. I've been seeing him out there laying some solid blocks. Kind of been used as a decoy in the jet sweep. I'm just kind of waiting for them to hand it off to him one of these times. I think with Cobb, his involvement will be delayed, and over the course of the season, my guess is we'll see a smidge more of him each week, and maybe eventually he can kind of carve out a role in this offense. So, Eric, thanks for your question. I appreciate it. Andrew Rumke asks, do you like LaFleur sticking with the plan of making the field goal with Crosby as opposed to going for the touchdown? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but I'm going to just guess that you're talking about the last kick in overtime when we decided to kick instead of go for it on 4th and inches after that Cobb catch. So if you are indeed talking about the last kick from Crosby, and if Coach, if I like Coach letting, Crosby go out there and attempt a game winner, yeah, I definitely do like it. Coach was talking about it yesterday. He said he came over to him on the sidelines and basically asked if, how he thinks or what he's thinking. And no flinching, no hesitation. Coach said, Crosby said, I got this, So I like giving him one more shot to end the game on a good note. Let's kind of not nip that game or those results in the butt, but it's a lot better to hit the game winner, end on a make, and then, move into the next week, into Bears week, actually, which I'm excited for, on the make, on a game winner in overtime, rather than those missed 3 field goals, the missed extra point. So, yeah, Andrew, I like LaFleur sticking with Crosby. I think maybe if he was a younger guy, not one of the greatest kickers of all time, in my opinion. The best kicker for the Packers, obviously all-time leading scorer. I like sticking with Crosby. And everybody, I think Aaron Jones said he went over to him and said he loved him after a miss. Everybody's got Crosby's back. And, yeah, I like it. So, next up, Andrew, thanks for the question. Next up, Mube asks, do you think it's a good thing to not be playing our best but finding ways to win, or you think it will catch up with us eventually? This is a good question. Penny, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. This is a good question. I definitely think that one of these games we're going to lose because of the mistakes like yesterday's, the missed field goals, the not getting touchdowns in the red zone. I think it'll come to bite us against an elite team. The Bengals are good. They're 3-1. Like I said on like I said on Sunday when we did the previews of the game, Their 3-1 schedule is impressive, but the teams they beat before the game results from yesterday, I think they were 2-10 combined. So they hadn't really played that much talent to get to 3-1, but win is a win, as we all know yesterday. So, do I think it's a good thing to not be playing our best, but finding ways to win, or do you think it'll catch up with us eventually? I think it'll catch up to us maybe one game. If we're playing the Cardinals like this, we're going to get smoked. If we play the Chiefs like this, even though they lost last night, we're going to get beat. So I think it's a good thing to be figuring it out now and getting these slouch moments and mistakes out of the way and start playing our best ball once the playoffs start coming. I think that's probably what everybody would want. I don't want to be playing our. I've heard something from I couldn't even tell you who. You don't want to play your best ball in September and October, and then burn out once the end of the year comes. Once the playoff starts, because obviously that's just not good. Once playoffs roll around, you're not hot. The confidence isn't there. Whatever you may have. I like to get rolling end of the season, into the playoffs hot. Teams coming together. We have all these injuries, and hopefully Jair can come back. Zadarius, obviously his situation's up in the air. We don't know what's going on with him, if he's going to come back this season. I'm hoping he does. If he doesn't, I don't think that he's going to be back next year, at least on the contract he is in now. So without a restructure, which I don't see him doing, I don't see him back. So only time will tell, though. I'm hopefully he comes back. I love watching him, and he's a although not getting a captain patch this year, not being voted captain, I think he's a great leader and a good guy to have in your locker room. So, Boobay, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Brendan, next up. Brendan Ziegler. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. How do you feel about the defense after 5 weeks? Considering the injuries to our defense, I think, and the fact that it's been the same defense basically as last year's, subtract Devondre Campbell, Eric Stokes. Last year's wasn't good. But considering everything going on, I feel good about it. They've been playing great. I saw a stat yesterday that I think it was in the second half. Out of the 6 drives, they gave up 1 touchdown. And if it wasn't for that but if it wasn't for that Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase touchdown before the half, this game would have been done for in the third quarter if we would have went down and scored again and made it a 3-possession game. I think that 22 points, one of them being on a long 30 seconds left in the half play, and then one towards the end, which we just Shamar Jean-Charles got juked by Joe Mixon. Bad, but he's a rookie. Joe Mixon's a solid running back, and when he's not hurt, he's a really good running back. So, your question: how do I feel about the defense after 5 weeks? I feel good. Once we get our guys back, it can only get better. The worst part, obviously, is the red zone defense. That can only get better. Obviously, I mean, they let up a touchdown every time the other team gets inside the 20. So I feel pretty good. And I think Joe Barry, he deserves some applause. Obviously, with all the injuries, playing guys like Eric Stokes, Devondre Campbell, Delonte Scott, TJ Slayton, he's done a great job. And I, for one, am a fan so far. So, Joe Barry, bravo to you so far. I appreciate it. Daniela says the Packers need to provide us, their fan base, with health insurance. This is a good one. I might have to agree with you on that one. Obviously, Coach apologized for the high blood pressure this team caused the fans towards the end of the game. I, for one, after a few missed field goals, had kind of come to terms that if we do lose this game, it was because of fluke performances, fluke plays that can be fixed moving forward. Not necessarily fluke, I guess, but just we're beating ourselves. And if we're gonna lose, I'm sure, like most of you feel, I would rather lose by us kicking ourselves in the foot so that we can correct it the next week, compared to just getting straight outplayed. And what can you really do when the team is just better than you are? as far as improving and whatnot. There's things you can do, obviously, but when you know what you did wrong immediately and it's something you can fix, then that makes me feel a lot better as far as correcting mistakes and moving forward. So, um, ultimately, thankful we snuck out with a win. My blood pressure was a little high towards the end of regulation. Once we got to overtime, and then Mason lost, not Mason, but we lost the coin toss. Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, up to this defense, and whatever happens, happens. So, Kyle, pretty impressed with Eric Stokes last week. He stepped up big without Jair. Obviously, he's young and still learning, but definitely making strides. Completely agree, Kyle. Going up against a familiar foe in Jamar Chase. Obviously, Jamar played at LSU and Stokes at Georgia, so they went up against each other a few times. He's played great considering he's a rookie without Jair now being thrown in there and just kind of being called upon to lock down the side of the field. He's been doing good and he's sticky with coverage. He's always there at the point of the catch. He seems to always be there. But yeah, I'm impressed with him so far. I love the cornerback position. That's just one of my favorite positions, and to see him do well, I'm pumped about it. So, Eric, our defense is big time crap. They played like big time crap in the red zone. I'll agree with you there, but overall, I mean, they haven't played that bad. Situationally, yes, and like I said earlier, in the 6 drives in the second half, they gave up 1 touchdown. If we're only giving up 1 touchdown or if we're giving up 7 or 8 points the rest of the season in the second half of each game, then we're more than likely going to win every single game if we're only giving up 7 or 8 points. So, yeah, it's at times it seems like they're just bad, but I think the good gets covered up by those those third downs, those fourth downs that they just kept converting. But no, you have the right to feel that way, and at times I agree with you. At times I disagree, but yeah, big time crap. Every once in a while, big time plays like Devondre in overtime. Got to applaud him for that. So that's going to do it for me. It's officially Bears week. Our defense. Sorry, before I close out here, we got one more comment in here, so let me throw it up. Christine, our defense has to do better, and offense has to make some plays. Yeah, offense. They just faltered. LaFleur wasn't calling good plays in the red zone. Towards the end of the game, he wasn't calling good plays. He wasn't getting these guys in rhythm, and honestly, wasn't sticking to the run as much as I'd hoped. But at the same time, you got Devontae Adams out there. He's had 200 plus yards, so I'm not going to complain if we're going to keep throwing to Devontae. I see a lot of the tweets and stuff out there about throwing to Devontae too much, and I understand that. When especially I saw a tweet earlier today when the 3rd and 10 he threw to Tanyan, big box Tanyan Rogers did, instead of just dropping it to Aaron Jones underneath. He had a clear path to get the first down, and yeah, we gotta hit those underneath easy throws and get the first down rather than throwing a bomb on the run to your left on the sidelines where Tanyan had a hand on it, but. Yeah, that's not going to do it. So, okay, thanks for tuning in. It's officially Bears week, so I, for one, am pumped. We're heading to Chicago, 12 o'clock, Soldier Field. We got a chance to move to 5-1 and get our second win over an NFC North team. The Bears look solid on defense, offense. I think Fields had 110 yards, 1 touchdown against the Raiders, who I don't think are very good. So it'll be a fun week. Obviously, Bears fans and Packers fans like to converse quite a bit on social media, so it'll be fun week on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There'll be a lot of trash talk. So before I go, be sure to tune in to Pack Casual on Wednesday night. Jonathan and myself we'll hang out, chat some Packers, and be sure to be following myself and GP Daily on the social channels. The links to all of those are in the description of this podcast or video, whichever way you're choosing to listen. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and shoot me a DM on Twitter at me. I love talking Packers, what good or bad. Yeah, just hit me up on social and we can continue chatting. So Thanks for hopping on with me. I appreciate it. We'll catch you guys later. Thank you.